Hi Stampers, it's Nancy from stampandshout.com. Welcome to my YouTube Live. I'm here every Tuesday evening. I'm a little early this week. Got another meeting to go to after this, so I didn't want to miss being with you guys. So this week I am going to share some cards, inspiration, and tips using Decorated with Happiness. This is a new stamp set that just came out, and I was excited to get it. I love the ornaments and the little tree branches and the sentiments. Sentiments are really, really nice. I like it because you can have one for the front and a nice one for the inside, or vice versa, however you want to do it. And of course, that font is really, really pretty. And it is a bundle, so it does come with the die set. And this die set not only cuts out a few of these things, it cuts out so much more. It's got a lot of extra accessories, so you have a lot of extra embellishments that you can add, like the bows and the stars and the snowflakes, and I don't know, little fun bows that you can hang your ornaments from. Really cute. So we're going to do a little bit of everything with this tonight. In fact, first thing up is a fun fold. And I know you guys love fun folds, so let's get that started. This is the card that we're going to make. And that's how it kind of stands up like that. It's really cool if you could see it vertically or horizontally, whichever way. But it folds flat. It goes in your envelope, but then it can sit up like that. And it's got that little added, the added folds. It's a center flip fold or something like that. I'll have to get the right name. Of course, I'm going to have all the information on my blog probably tomorrow. I didn't get to it all today. It's not quite finished, but stampandshout.com. I'll have the pictures, the sizes, and all the other information, shopping little icons for you to click on. And let's get started. So I've made a few of these in the past, and I've seen a lot of them popping up all over the place again. So I think they're hot and trendy right now. So we're going to get started. So I'm starting with Poppy Parade, and it's 8.5 by 5.5. It's not scored yet. And I'm going to first bring in my cutter. And this is how you do it. Let me just look at my notes here. So with the 5.5 inches at the top, I'm going to line it up at 1 1/4. And then I am going to make a cut from 1 inch down to 5 1/4. So I'm going to hold that in place, and I'm going to start cutting at 1 inch all the way down to 5 1/4. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I am just going to flip it so I can do the 1 1/4 mark again. 1 1/4 on the left, and I'm going to cut it from 1 inch all the way down to 5 1/4. Okay, so now we're going to score. So let me bring in my little scoring board. Okay, so what you're going to do first with the 8.5 at the top is, I'm going to read my notes, make sure I don't mess this up. We are going to score at 1 inch and 2 inches, but right down to the cut line. So I'm going to go 1 inch, 2 inches down to the cut line, and 5 1/4. Just want to make sure. Let me make sure on my other notes. Yep, 5 1/4. So 1 inch, 2 inch, and 5 1/4, right down to the cut line. And I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side, but I want my score lines to be the same direction. So I'm not going to flip it over. I'm just going to turn it. And now I am going to score it at 3 1/4 down to the cut line. I'm just making sure I did that right. 3 1/4, yep, 6 1/2 down to the cut line, and 7 1/2. And I'll have all this information on my blog. So we have one more scoring to do. Just making sure I'm doing this correctly with you guys. Hang on, gotta look at my notes. Actually, it's better for me to look at my little cheat sheet here. Okay. I get it. Just hang on. Okay, so with the short edge at the left, what I mean by that is you're going to see you have a little edge and then you have a great big thick edge. This is going to be at the left, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4, but only between the cut lines. Right here, between the cut lines at 4 1/4. Just like that. Okay, so hopefully you got all that. So we made our cut from 1 inch to 5 1/4 on both sides, and then we scored it at 1, 2, and 5 1/4 just up to the cut line. And then I flipped it, and then I scored it to the cut line at 3 1/4, 6 1/2, and 7 1/2. And then right in the middle here, I scored it at 4 1/4, but that's just right in the middle. So now we just have to fold it, and then we're home free. So I've got the skinny little edge at the bottom, and here's the wide part. So I'm going to say this is my first score line, and we're going to fold that so it's popped up like that. The next score line, only the score lines, don't touch the middle part. We're just going to fold down like that. And then the other score lines all are folded up. So that one and that one. And I'm going to bring in my bone folder and make sure these are nice and creased. That way the card will stand up really, really nice. And that is how you do it. So now we're just going to decorate it. So what I have is I have a piece of black. That's going to be my matte piece, and that's 3 by 3. Just let me check that. It looks like it's a little bit big. So I am going to, let's see here. Yep, that's perfect. 3 by 3, and this is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that matte piece down there. You know what? I think I'm going to make it a little smaller. Just a little bit smaller so I can see that pretty poppy red. So I'm going to make this be about 1/8 of an inch smaller on each side. So I'll give it just a little trim. So now that little bit of red is going to show. That means I'm going to have to cut this down just a little. Let me see. Nope, I think we're good. I just wanted a little bit of an edge on all of it. So let's put this black piece down. I think I had too long of a weekend here, ladies. So we're going to put this black piece right on that front piece, just like that. Then I have some designer's paper. This paper is from the Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper. You get so much of that. It's on the very, very last page of the little mini catalog. And this one is 3/4 by 5 1/4. Again, don't worry about these sizes because I will have them all on my blog. So we're going to glue that down. Then I have 2 more pieces that are 1 inch by 3 inches, and they're going to go right on these little strips here. Right on the sides. Oop, my glue slid. So this one I'm just kind of looking at my little gingerbread man, making sure he's upright, but I don't think it would really matter. I don't think anyone would notice except me. So we put those right there. Trying to fold this again. And so now that's how it's decorated. Now we get to do the fun stuff, which is the stamping. So I'm going to bring in, I'm going to stamp my sentiment first. That way I can, let me show you the card that we're making. I'm going to stamp the sentiment right in that bottom corner, and I'm going to stamp it in Memento. It'll match the little black color in that Designer Series paper. Stamp it right down here in the bottom left-hand corner. There you go. And the other colors, I'm using all the colors that are in that designer series paper. And so I'm going to use Shaded Spruce and Granny Apple Green and Daffodil, no, Crushed Curry and Poppy Parade. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my ornaments first, and then I'm going to fill it in with the little spruce sprigs. So let's see, which one did I do first? I did the circle ornament. So this is a two-step stamp, which means you have an outline stamp and you have a filler. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp, it's hard to see probably, right up here at the top. In Granny Apple Green. And then I'm going to bring in my little filler stamp. And I'm just going to stamp right in the middle of this ornament, just like that. And now, let's see here. I'm going to go next with the Crushed Curry. And that ornament is this little oblong ornament. So we'll stamp the outline first. And that's just going to go a little bit further down. Just like that. And let me clean off this filler stamp. Oh, dog wondered what that squeaky noise was. Actually, I'm going to use this. There's a skinnier filler stamp. Let me show you the pictures here. So we have 3 filler stamps, and I'm going to use this skinny one. I'm going to use it for this ornament and the next ornament. So let me ink that up. And I'm going to use it this way. This is really fun to stamp with. I love filler stamps because you can't make a mistake. It's really easy. Now watch me make a mistake. All right, so now we got Poppy Parade. So if you guys are here, go ahead and say hi. Let me know what you're thinking. Like I said, I think it was a long weekend. So this is Poppy Parade with the 3rd ornament that's in the set. And I cleaned that stamp off, so now I'm going to use the filler and just fill it in just like that. Let me go a little bit more. Whoop, right there. Okay, so that's the stamping part. And you can actually cut these out. So if you were stamping on a scrap and you wanted to pop these up on a card, that die set has outlines to cut out all of these ornaments. So I think we're going to get to some of that in our next card. But this is just stamping. Now I'm going to stamp the pine sprigs. And I'm going to do that in Shaded Spruce. So I've got the little tiny sprig right there, that stamp. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp here and there to make it look like these ornaments are hanging from the Christmas tree. And there you go. So clean that stamp off real quick. And now we'll attach this right here in the center. So there is the front of our card. Pretty pretty. So inside I have a piece of white, and it's cut to 2 3/4 by 4. And I'm going to go ahead bring back in the memento and stamp on the inside. This says, wishing you a season decorated with happiness and wonder. And then we're just going to put that on the inside of our card. And the first card will be almost done. And I have a little strip designer series paper that I'm just going to put right at the bottom here. So you never throw out your scraps. Find a place to put them. In fact, my tip for this Thursday is going to be talking about your scraps. So make sure, on Thursday I do a tips tech or a technique, and that's on my Facebook group. So I'll have all that information there so you know where to find me. So there was our card. And then it stands up like that, and it looks very, very cool. I love it, love it, love it. So again, hope I didn't confuse you too much on that one. Like I said, well, who knows? Oh, look at this is a tag I made with the set. So I'm not making that tonight, but we're gonna make this pretty card. So again, this is using the outline dies. So you have a couple of outline dies and a couple of different shaped ornaments and the bell. So we're going to use that one. So for my supplies, let me bring these all in here. I have mint macaron as my base. I wanted to change up the colors a little bit. I was trying to do a card in lots of different colors so you could kind of get a feel, because everyone likes their Christmas cards in different colors. Then we have the shaded spruce, and I cut out the sprig right from the center of that because it's not going to show once we glue it all down. And I have a piece of white, and I ran that through the Merry Melody embossing folder. And I have a strip of the designer series paper. Again, it's the Celebrate Everything designer series paper, and that is 1 inch by 5 3/4. Then I cut out a little scallop from my oval punch, and I'm also going to cut out another oval punch when we get stamping. And I went ahead and I ran this piece through using silver foil. So I just lined it up on my silver foil and ran it through my machine. And then when you're done, you just have to punch out the little insides. If you keep these inside pieces, it might seem a little bit difficult. If you keep them, you can use them as fillers if you want to make your ornament multicolored. So let's go ahead and glue this stuff together. So first we'll lay down our mat. Excuse me, got a frog there. Anytime I have a little bit extra glue, I kind of touch my silicone mat and get some of the extra glue off. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and lay our embossed piece down. And we'll go ahead and lay the designer series paper down. So these colors are, again, the shaded spruce and mint macaron and white. So our sprig is going to go right there. So when you cut the sprig out, I did this ahead of time, you cut it out, and then you're going to have a bunch of little tiny little pieces that you just have to break away. So I didn't want to do that on camera because it takes about a minute. So I am going to put some glue on the back of this sprig, and I'm putting it on the largest parts that I can find. But then I am going to lay it on my silicone mat and get some of that extra glue off. So all that extra glue is going to come off. And I'm going to go ahead and lay this sprig just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing for the little ornament. Could use pieces of glue dots, but this works fine. It's really easy. Those silicone mats, let me show you again. I'm just going to put that down, get that extra glue off. And I'm going to go ahead and lay that right there. We'll let that set a second. And I'm going to bring in another stamp. Let me find it here in my stuff. Let me see. There it is. It's still in my box. So this is going to say Christmas greetings. And just looking for my punch. Punch, punch, where are you? Okay, got to look for my punch. Oh, here it is. Right where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to bring in shaded spruce. And this is the dual punch. And I didn't punch that the way I wanted to. Let me see, I'll do that over. Okay, so I've told you guys this 100 times and I didn't listen to my own direction. When you're going to use a punch, you should kind of look at your punch and which way it's lined to see if you have enough to hang on to. Now I could still use this by rigging a little fishing line of sticky paper and doing it, but I am going to do it the right way. So I want to be able to hold on to it like this. So I want to stamp my sentiment the same way. So let's bring that back in and do it one more time. Okay. I like making mistakes because then I can show you guys. You guys know better how to do it. Now see, now it's a little bit too long. It's not going to fit in there right, so I have to cut off a little bit on the bottom so it'll fit in the punch nicely. Now I'm just going to line it up and punch it out. So now I'm going to, I already cut that out earlier with the same punch, the scalloped part of it. So I'm just going to glue these two together. And bring in some dimensionals and pop that up. And then we have to add our bow. So this is going to go right there in the center. We're going to add a bow. So I just have this pretty red ribbon. So we have our bow. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Just have to play with it a little bit. There. And glue dots. Hi, Betty. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. We're going to put this right at the top of the ornament. Trim that tail a little. There's the front. I might play with that bow a little bit more. So now let's stamp the inside. I have a piece of white, and I'm going to bring in that sentiment that we used on our last card, but I'm going to stamp it in Shaded Spruce. And we're just going to glue that right there in the center of our card. And then we'll have our second card done. Okay, let's take a peek. Let's see here. I'm looking for my little rhinestones. I think I'll put a few rhinestones right on the front. Just a couple. Don't want to go too crazy. Just to add a little bit of bling. And that little bit of bling always makes a difference. There you go. There's your second card. Pretty, huh? Fun stamp set. I love it, love it, love it. So now the next card is this one, Mint Macaron and Pacific Point. So I told you I was using some different colors, but this is so pretty, really pretty in person. So I'm excited to show you this. So we'll put this together really quick. So again, I'm using a Mint Macaron card base, 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. Inside, I have a piece of white that's 5 by 3 3/4. Then for the front, I have Pacific Point. I'm going to go ahead and glue that on right now. Don't forget, if you like these cards, I will send them to you. You'll get them right in your mailbox. All you have to do is make a $35 purchase at my online store, and I will mail them to you. And make sure you use my host code. Again, we're going to use white that's embossed with that Merry Melody folder. So we can go ahead and lay this down. Then I have 2 strips that are 2.5 by about 1 inch, and those are going to be glued right there in the center on the edges. And we're going to cover them up in a couple minutes after we get our stamping done. So I'm just looking top to bottom and putting it right in the center. Could have got that a little closer. Boy, that glue stuck fast. Oh, there we go. I want to get it right to the edge of the white. And this one, just looking to see how it matched up to the other one. I cut it in half. So again, these are 1 by 2.5. I'm going to put that on the other side. And then we're going to do some stamping, and we'll come back to this in a second. Okay, so this is a matte piece that's in Mint Macaron, and then I have a white piece, and I went ahead and I cut out some sprigs in the Mint Macaron. Now this one, I just used a teeny tiny scrap. Let me show you. I didn't have enough to use the whole stem, but it didn't bother me because it's going to be underneath, and I don't need 2 stems. I was probably going to cut it off anyway. So I just found a little bit of a scrap, and I used it. So like I said, I never throw out my scraps. So let me go ahead and glue this down, because that's going to have time to set that way. And then we'll do some stamping. Again, I'm touching that to my silicone mat to get some of that extra glue off. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and then you hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified on your phone or on your computer when I'm doing a new video. Like I said, I am here every Tuesday evening, but I do pop on other times too and do little tips and techniques or some other fun little video. So I'm just kind of laying this down right on top. That bottom one is just to give it a little bit more texture. And if you didn't want to lay down two, you wouldn't have to. We're going to cover them up with some ornaments. So I've got a scrap here, and we're going to do a little bit of stamping. And we're going to do that in, actually, we're going to do it in Starry Night. Gives it really a nice dark outline. So again, this is the two-step stamp. So I'm going to bring in my outline stamps. Make sure they're all clean for my last card. And this one here, I got the long one. Okay, they're all clean. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp. Pretty. You can have a lot of fun if you're just stamping. You imagine all the pretty ornaments you can make. And normally I do a new stamp set every week. I might do a new one next week, but I'm going to come back to this one because I want to do it in lots of different colors. I always send my friend one out of purples, a Christmas card made with purples and pear pizzazz or something like that. So I want to do more with this stamp set. So I'm going to bring it back around. You will see it again because there's so much you can do with it. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill these in. So I got the little filler stamp. Let me make sure it's clean. And this is being filled with mint macaron. And I'm going to use the other filler stamp. Like I said, there's 3 filler stamps, different sizes. But it's not precise, it's not exact. So it's just meant to look kind of abstract. Just like that. So now I will bring in the outline stamps and line them up just like that, and like that, and like that. Line them up and run them through my cutting machine and cut them out. But I have that already done, so you don't have to wait for me to do that. Just wanted to show that to you. So put them back on my little magnet sheet, keep them nice and where they're supposed to be. So I have these already cut out. So we're going to pop these up, and I'm missing one. How did I miss one? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Guess I am going to cut one out. I'm going to cut the circle one out. So let me cut that out real quick. Sticky fingers. Well, I'm not cutting it out because it fell down on the floor and I can't find it. So we're going to put 2 on, and then I'll find it later. Unless I find it in the meantime, because it was here. Oh my goodness, am I goofing up tonight or what? Also, I want to see if I have enough room up here, if I left myself enough room, and I might have. I'm going to go ahead and try. I was supposed to stamp this first and then lay down my little sprig, so I had enough room. But it worked out. See? Never fret, never worry. You can always fix it. In fact, I like that with the little sprig going through the J. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and glue these 2 pieces, the white piece to the matte piece. So Betty, where are you from? I'm here in Michigan. I'm going to pop this piece up. we're going to pop up our ornaments. So we're just going to put this right in the center, like that. And then we're going to pop up our, oh, I found my other one. Haha, I found it. Yay. We're going to pop up our ornaments. So I used a large, the regular size dimensional there, and I could either use a small one, or you can cut one of the large ones in half and put it up on the top, just to give it that extra support right at the top and right at the bottom. So we're going to kind of put our ornaments where we think we want them to be. So yeah, I like I said, I'm trying different colors, give you an idea of what it looks like before you go ahead and cut all your paper up. See if you like it. I tell you, this is really pretty. I like it. Probably even could put one more ornament on here if you squeezed them together differently. Let's put a few little rhinestones on here, a little shimmer. Oh, that one got stuck. Uh-oh. And on the inside, we'll stamp. We could either stamp Christmas greetings. Oh, let's do some more stamping on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that sentiment first in Starry Sky. And you could be done if you want, or you could go ahead and stamp a couple of ornaments like I did, or just one. I think I'm just going to do one on this one. But we have to do that inside because it really makes it pop. I love it. Pretty. Very pretty. So excited I'm getting my Christmas cards done. Kentucky. Well, welcome. Glad you're here with me. Okay, so that's our third one. So we got Mint Macaron and Pacific Point, Mint Macaron and Shaded Spruce, and Poppy Parade, the little fun fold. And again, those are all the colors that are inside in that designer series paper. And of course, my little tag. See there, I have the little snowflakes with the little rhinestone in there. And I used the cutout, just like a cutout like that. So there are your cards. I hope you liked them. Please leave comments. Let me know. Subscribe. And I will have the information on my blog tomorrow for these cards. And if you'd like these cards sent to your house, just if you're shopping and you shop with me and use that host code, I will be happy to send you the make and takes for the 3 cards. Let me show you something else really quick. I have been cleaning out my craft room, and I came across a few bundles that I would gladly send also. So I have the lovely little lily pads with the lily pad dies. So I will send this out free with a $35 purchase, but you would have to email me and let me know that's what you want. And I also have the Wildcats set and dies. And I have one more lily pad and the dies. So again, those will be sent out free with an email to me asking me that, or telling me which one you would like. And that's for a $35 purchase at my online store. So I have a lot of other stamps that I want to kind of share with you. If you're interested, they're older stamps, they're discontinued, but they're all in great condition. So I'm working on that. We'll get to that. But in the meantime, I hope you did enjoy tonight's cards and the one little tag. And I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't be shy. Stamp and shout.